And welcome to another fun-filled episode of that 401k podcast. Ary Rosenbaum here with Dan Venturi. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ari. Thanks, bud. It's hot. It's hot as heck.
It's hot as heck. We got some 90-some-odd degree weather in New York, and, we're more like an 80-degree weather place, not like a 90-degree weather place. But, yeah, it's hot. This weekend's going to be even hotter. But, I don't mind it, thanks to air conditioning. The fact that I love summer, and we're taping this on July 19th, and I already feel the summer's over. You ever feel that? The summer always goes so quickly?
I was thinking about that the other day. I was counting days. I think we're 40 days left or something.
Yeah, I mean, once, July 31st rolls around, I feel like the summer's over. It's like August, the dog days of August, it's like dead.
It's very sad.
Yeah, well, we need to move to a warmer climate, I guess. Then we wouldn't be complaining as much.
Fair enough.
So how was your week?
That was okay. A little uneventful. We've got a lot of time in the chemistry lab working on some of the stuff that we've talked about and have been cooking. So that was good. Always something going on. Knee deep in audits. I mean, everyone files an extension, but auditors don't seem to go away this time of year.
Absolutely not, especially when we're, coming across a 5,500, filing deadline. So there are probably a handful of plans that are actually with audits that are ready for the filing. I mean, 99 out of 100 times, it always feels like the audit's delayed and they're going to have to meet the extension deadline. But there are always, several that do make that 31st deadline.
There are a few. Oh, we got a bunch of 55, 58s out yesterday. I would love to know where those go. I don't think they go anywhere. I think they go to a black hole.
I think they do, especially when, you always, get one, when you get that, letter from the IRS that there is no, they don't have a copy of the extension. I always find that with 1120S's, the corporate tax return, all of a sudden they don't have the extension when you filed it by mail.
Yeah, I don't know where they go. We file them, we have them.
Probably where they go with the SARs that get filed.
Where they go up?
Wherever the SARs go.
Yeah, in the same place, right?
Yeah, the same dark, probably the place where they always find the second sock,
It's exactly it, yes. Yeah, I can't tell you, man, with 4 kids, that sock troll, he's making a lot of money in my house.
I got 2 kids, and the sock troll, it's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know where that second sock goes.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
Exactly. There's no explanation. So anyway, we're going to devote this topic for this week. We're going to shill for all the things that we're doing, try to get people excited about some of the events and products that we all have offered. But just some interesting things that people out there in the 401k plan space may not be aware of and might certainly be interested. And obviously, the first thing is that 401k conference. We take the summer off, but in the fall, we are knee-deep in a lot of events. September, we'll be in Cleveland. October, we'll be in Foxborough. November, should I get the contract from MetLife Stadium, we'll be there at East Rutherford, New Jersey. In December, at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. 2020 regional events. We're thinking about some places that we would like to go to. That's in the cooker. But first things first, Cleveland, September 20th. Our last baseball event for the fall, as obviously baseball season's coming to an end. We'll be in Cleveland, Ohio, Progressive Field. We got game tickets. Guests to be announced soon. I think it's going to be Joe Charbonneau. It's not a lock, but that's what the word on the street is.
What was you were saying? The guest?
Joe Charbonneau.
When did he play? That name's not familiar.
Well, you're a little too young, but he's the 1980 Rookie of the Year. He had a really successful 80 season. I think he was like 25 home runs, 80-something RBIs. He's like a weird kind of guy. Pulling teeth out of his mouth with a plier, eating aluminum cans, I think. And as soon as he was a big hit in 80, and by 81, his career was kind of over. He played in the minor leagues, never really came back to the major leagues in much of a state, and he kind of, is kind of well known as one of those Rookie of the Years, like kind of one and done. Like Ron Kittle and plenty of other guys in the recent past that, had one good season. That was it.
Okay. So I'm sure he's got lots of good stories.
Yeah, that's the days when the Indians played at Municipal Stadium, and they're pretty damn awful. So we probably should have some good stories. October will be 11th. Will be at Foxborough Gillette Stadium. That's going to be a fun event. First football themed event, and it's good. We're already sold out of the speaking sponsorships. If you're a plan provider, just want to say hello and be part of the event. Our $500 sponsorships are still open. MetLife Stadium. November 8th, Friday, we kind of come home. As our home is Long Island, but New Jersey's kind of home when you consider we've been to Kansas City and Los Angeles. So we'll be there, home of the Giants, home of the Jets. But of course, I'm a Giants fan, so it'll be a Giants-themed event. And then December 13th, we'll be at AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. That's going to be a lot of fun. Well, the venue, where we're actually holding the event is like literally almost right on the field. We won't be on the field. The back of the TV where you'll watch the presentation, I believe, is the field. Get a tour. I think they're going to take a group picture at the 50-yard line, that kind of deal. These events are great. $100 for the advisor. As Mad Magazine would say, cheap. You get a lot for your buck. 4 hours content, lunch, meet and greet with a cowboy, great. Well, with the AT&T one, and then you get a tour. So it's a lot of fun, and for the providers as well, it's a lot of fun. Not every day you go see, when we were in Chicago, meeting Andre Dawson or Danny Jackson in Kansas City, and it's a great, fun place to be, and you learn something new in the retirement plan business. Denver was a lot of fun. We got coverage for that event through 401k Special Magazine because the editor-in-chief was there, which was a lot of fun. So that's really, obviously the first thing that we always work in, and hopefully you could come to a event near you. And we've had some people from not nearby who tend to be in the area who just show up. We had an advisor from Pennsylvania show up at the Kansas City events. We had someone in the business from New Jersey who happened to be at Denver at the time and appeared at the Denver event. So we do actually get a lot of it. We get from time to time advisors who do show up from other cities because they're in the area, and it's a great place to be. And that's what we're working on. And of course, the big thing that we're working on is that 401k National Conference at Disney World, March 10th and the 11th, 2020. And we already got some, sponsors lined up and speakers lined up, and we're working as we get closer and closer to date to line more sponsors and more speakers. The website, that401ksite.com, has the information on how to enroll and partake in these events. And for the Disney event, we do actually have an early bird special. We got some good hotel pricing and good park ticket pricing. We got the park ticket pricing down pat already, and within a few days, we'll actually have the microsite to Disney to buy the tickets directly from that 401k site talking about the Disney event. So we're all looking forward to the Disney event, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely, guys, jump on now. I mean, the quicker, you register, you're guaranteed, one of the better rooms if you want one. Like me, for example, I'm going to need a big room because I got a crap load of kids. So there's only a limited number of those. So if you're planning on bringing a big family, jump on it. It's going to be jump on it soon. It's going to be a great event. The tickets are, tremendous value. I think there's something like 30% off. That in and of itself is worth the trip. Not to mention the conference itself. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be doing some different things. Going to have some different topics, some different speakers. We're working on, all sorts of different things from, regulatory standpoint to, deep dive with some of the fun companies to, prospecting or sales tips, things to improve your practice. So there's going to be a little bit of everything, right? Ary always says it's very different from other existing conferences. We fully expect this to be very, very different from some of the national conferences you guys might have been to in the past. So, visit the site, lock in your tickets, and we look forward to seeing everybody in March, which is probably an ideal time to be in Florida. Not too hot, definitely not too cold. I can't imagine what it's like in Florida now. If it's 95 in New York, it's probably 106 in Florida. So perfect time to be in Florida. Bring your family and, get ready for a couple of days of great content and lots of fun.
Exactly. But it's a really fun event. And there are a lot of national events out there. I think the national events that I've seen and have attended, they're good events. But we're going to do something different. I likened the discussion about how we're going to change the idea of a conference. Sometimes you're at an event. It's not just to put down a national event, but you've been at an event. Let's say you're going to some sort of networking event, and you feel like I did it in the first grade, where you're at a new school, you don't know anybody, and you're just like standing there. I think our conference is going to be different than that. You won't be standing there. There'll be a lot of networking opportunities. Dan's got some crazy ideas on what to do in terms of networking ideas and things that are out of the box. We're going to be a lot of fun, and that's one of the taglines is where fun meets 401k. So this is a great opportunity. Like Dan says, bring the family. We wanted to do it at a really family-friendly space. So the event's going to be on a Monday, Tuesday. That gives you the entire weekend and even time before that to go out to the parks. Obviously, by then, I know Disney World's opened up the Star Wars attraction on August the 29th. So plenty of time that'll be there. And, of course, all the other parks you got, in addition to Disney having the Star Wars land at the Hollywood Studios, you have 3 additional parks. And great discounts at the Disney Swan Hotel. And as Dan says, there's limited block of rooms. We kind of lowballed the amount of rooms based on our deal with Disney. So, just get it before, it goes away. And, of course, we have a really early bird special. I think it's $300 for a participant just to sign up for the food and, the materials and the attendance fees and all that stuff. And we're going to only have that early bird special until probably about Thanksgiving. So it's a great time. There's going to be also firm pricing. So if, you're part of the advisory firm and like 5 of you want to show up, we got a discount rate for that as well. And for the plan sponsors who want to speak at an event or present in the exhibit room. We do got some great values. And of course, if you've been a sponsor of that 401k conference, there's a 30% discount on the fees. So again, that's a great thing that we're working on. And of course, the next thing that we're working on that we've talked about before on the podcast, but it's coming more and more in reality, is that HR association. Dan, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, love to. So we've mentioned it in the past. That we've launched an association, that HR association. Big ticket item, big product. Initially, and probably still is MEP sponsorship, right? So we looked at it from a way to, and albeit the regulators very well might eventually legalize the whole open MEP thing. We looked at this as a way to comply with the regs as they are currently, right? So there are a lot of solutions out there that either ignore the regs or try and find a sneaky way around the regs. This is none of that. This is 100% fully, completely, totally, absolutely compliant with the DOL's interpretation of what is and what is not an appropriate multiple employer plan. The MEP is, everyone knows the great qualities or the attributes that a multiple employer plan brings to the plan sponsor and the plan participant. I mean, it does offer an opportunity for some of the smaller plans to aggregate and save money. From our perspective, being a 316 and an ERISA attorney, a big item for us is the regulatory aspect of it, right? Plan sponsors have a ton of things to do. Running a 401k plan is not one of their priorities. If you've been in the industry long enough, you know that. This gives them an opportunity to pass that responsibility and, more importantly, that liability along, right? Albeit, there's always that latent liability where folks have to make sure they provide or do their diligence on the providers that they bring in to take on the liability. But as much liability as possible, the MEP allows you to offload. So it's something that we're really excited about. We've got a ton of great vendors lined up. There's That Smart IRA product that we're going to be talking a lot about here in the next couple of months and weeks. It is a super product for things, super mundane things, right? So uncashed checks, force outs, but it's also an incredibly low-cost solution for just rollover IRAs in general. So that's something that we're really ecstatic about. There's the HSA product. We've got payroll vendors on board. We have wellness providers on board. We're working on a student loan debt repayment option, a National 529 option. We've got discounted tickets. We've got, if corporations want to do some of the athlete planning that Ary and I have taken advantage of with the conferences, that's available. Sporting event tickets at a discount, one of the offerings that we're going to have. Who am I missing? What am I missing here, bud?
Well, we're always working on, we're doing an HR thing, don't we? The HR attorney, whatever, that was part of it. I don't think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is, obviously something that we're adding benefits to. To me, it was always the idea was, let's do something that I've seen a lot of unions do, where they have like a benefits trust and they offer a lot of services out there for its members. So let's offer association that, yeah, we have a 401k plan, but we have other plethora of services and products and, good things that, companies out there need. With the insurance, we're going to work with a good provider in terms of group benefits and individual benefits as well. So it's something that's going to be very, very unique. The MEPs, they're taking form with a couple providers, and we're going to be agnostic if we have, obviously support from other providers. We may launch multiple MEPs using multiple TPAs and whatnot. So it's something that we're really proud of, and something we've been working on for it's almost a year.
Yeah.
We've had a false start here or there, but we're really fine tuning it, and we should have something out there very, very shortly. We're, as they say, in the midst of building the website, and that should be up very, very soon.
Yeah, nothing. We know that nothing happens quickly in this industry. So, a year might seem like a lot of time, but in our world, it's probably par for the course. We are super excited about it. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on everything, but we genuinely think that what we're doing here is going to be disruptive to the industry in a really good way, and ultimately be a real benefit to plan sponsors and, most importantly, plan participants, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a job, it's a career, but we are very, very mindful of the folks that we're impacting, right? The idea is to have people be able to put food, on their plate in retirement, and those numbers we all know are pretty staggering in terms of folks that might not be able to do that in the future. So we are efforting the best way we know how to get some products out there that can help people accomplish those goals.
Yeah, and the Smart IRA is. I was recently on a DOL audit of a terminated plan, and the DOL agent was asking questions that I never saw a agent ever ask about. Stuff like, for example, who was the provider that you used for these involuntary cash outs that you moved to an IRA because you couldn't find the participants? What are their fees involved? And these are sort of questions that are going to be more and more prevalent in a DOL audit, because the Department of Labor has said they are going to look at the situation dealing with missing participants and how they're handled. And I think that when it comes to missing participants especially the automatic rollover IRAs, I don't think that participants really win out when their money's stuck in cash. With the way interest rates you're paying today, and you're getting 30, 40 bips in a savings account, and you have a $20, $25 minimum custodial charge, I don't know if participants went out with these automatic rollover IRAs. So we've developed a product that I think is going to really impact the business, and it's certainly going to help these former participants out who get kind of trapped in that cash out automatic rollover conundrum. So Dan and I are working on something that we're going to be very, very proud of, that is going to positively impact the retirement savings of a large segment of what I believe the participant population that has been underserved for quite some time, which is the time since the cash outs change, which was, I think, 2005 already, which is hard to believe, but that's how far we've been when we were dealing with these automatic roll-up IRAs. So that's, again, something else that we're working on. And, of course, Dan and I have this lab. It's not an actual physical lab, but a lab where we, I think our lab is the Cheesecake Factory in Melville, where we talk every week for an hour, and I guess that's our lab. And I have my assistant, Dan, the bartender.
Yep.
who serves me whatever on tap for it's always the Sam Adams seasonal. Thankfully, we're still in summer ale, but I know when August rolls around, Oktoberfest is coming, and that's when I know summer's over. But that's the official end of summer when Sam Adams comes out with their Oktoberfest.
Oh, it's for me. It's the start of college football season.
Yeah,
they're doing their press.
Yeah. To me when Oktoberfest comes out, that's when it ends. But we're always coming up with ideas, and we're working always to fine tune the HR Association. We're talking about a lot of things, and the ways to promote it, and we'll be doing some interesting things that we're working on, of course, as we still work towards the national conference, which is a lot of work, trying to get these sponsorships sold and people to attend. So that's just a few of our favorite things, as they would say. Is that a Sound of Music, or is that Mary Poppins?
A few of our favorite things?
That's Sound of Music.
I'm going to defer to you on that one, bud.
Yeah, I'm on a big Rodgers and Hammerstein kick. I saw, Oklahoma a few weeks back, and I was watching South Pacific this week. So I think Sound of Music I have to watch pretty soon, but that's like a 3-hour movie, and when do I have 3 hours to watch a movie? So I guess that's it for this week, right?
That sounds good.
Okay. And of course, we'll put in the can. And of course, if you want more information, that 401ksite.com. Within a few weeks, hopefully, that hrassociation.com. And of course, always send us a line when you're have some interest. Attending the events, of course, that 401ksite.com is the place to sign up. And of course, drop us a line. If you have any questions about, getting involved with some of the events and, obviously some of the products that we're working on. So until next week, we say goodbye.
Have a good weekend, guys.